just a few things today and talk about some things that have helped me, some resources that we have. And if anybody was here for the meeting that we had earlier on, I talked a little bit about some of the same things I'm going to talk about, but I kind of want to just talk a little bit about a different approach on it today. The first thing that, so I guess what I'm going to talk about is how to browse through schools, like based on prerequisites to know like what we can be able to do. To know, because there's so many different ones, there's so many different prereqs, we need to know like earlier on what direction we want to go because we can't do all prereqs. So I want to kind of go over how we can put together a spreadsheet for it, or a way I did, and things that help me do it. And so kind of the first thing to introduce us, on BYUI page, has everybody used the Skydrive before? Is everybody familiar with that? This I just learned about just a little while ago. The Skydrive is like, it's kind of like a Google Drive. It's your own like, I don't know how many gigs of hard drive, but you can save things to your Skydrive and get them from anywhere that you can get internet access. And so I want to talk about that because it makes it really easy to have like your information with you wherever you go. And so when you log on, you click on Skydrive, and it opens up everything that you have. Like this will follow me wherever I go, all this information. And so a whole bunch of different things I have it on right now is like prerequisites, these different pages that I have. So this is just an awesome thing that I really like. Somebody showed me how to do this. So you can make, in Skydrive, you can make Excel pages, you can make Word documents, PowerPoints, online notebooks, all these different things. And so for mine to look into PA schools, I made it an Excel doc. And so again, this can come wherever I am, so it doesn't matter what computer I'm at and anything. And so this was kind of my idea of how to put this together. I don't know if everybody's familiar with Excel, but you can get all these different topics, different things, and then just fill it in with like a table of schools and things that interest you. You can have totally different ones, but I did like the name of the school, where it is, about the costs, prerequisites. You can do anything you can have on this. And the nice thing with this is that you can like paste in hyperlinks to all the websites. And so this was a little bit of work like, to put all these together, but it was really nice. Because as I look through, I look at Texas Tech University. I don't have anything for that. Baylor College in Texas. I know kind of what prerequisites I'm looking for, and I set this up where it brings me right to their website, and I can find more information about them. But also with this, on the bottom, I just put in some other like helpful websites that I will be using, like to go back and forth between things. And the thing I wanted to focus on today was the PAED.com. I'll click on this and I'll pull up the full address so that we can go to physician/assistant/ed.com. This is just an awesome place to get a lot of information about prerequisites. Who's familiar, who hasn't used this website before, or who hasn't looked at it? Okay, cool. So this, I think, Garrett used this a lot last semester. This website has just so much information about different schools, and I'll show you just a little bit how to do it. I don't want to go too much into it, but to use the website, you need to join it or register for it. There's not a charge for this. They just like create a username and password. And so, for some reason, it always says like it didn't work. Pages are fine, but it did log me in over here. I don't know what that means. Okay. I'm trying to think kind of what to focus on. The biggest thing with this website is to look under prospective PAs. This was passed. And there are two versions of this website. One of them is free. Anybody can use it. Another one, it's like $4 a month. And it has a couple more features. And so earlier this month, I wanted to see like what the other one was, and so I paid for it. And so I'll show you kind of the difference that I wasn't really pleased with. It was only $4, but it wasn't really important at all. So to get the information for the PA schools, you go to PA program profiles. Okay, and what this does is it pulls up a huge list of every state, and so we can browse by location. That's one good place to start from because there are so many different PA schools. It's good to choose like a couple of states, like where you'd like to be, where you'd be interested in being, and start there because there's a lot of schools in these ones. So does anybody have a state that they would think of moving, or just think of going to school for the P? Virginia? Okay.
That's North Carolina.
That just pulls me into this.
Oh, okay.
So just a cluster of these, and then it comes to the specific ones. And so this will show me what state and all the schools that they have available in that state. And then from here, this is where the program really becomes very beneficial. Jefferson College of Health Science PA program. I've never heard of this one before. But they have already gone into that PA website, and they have collected all the information that we would have to collect from all these different places. And so they've put this together for us. They have the website link. Let's see if this works. Sometimes this does work. Okay, so it brings you right there. So it'll bring you to the website, give you their information, where to email if you need to talk to them, when it's starting, your fall deadline. All these very important things are all together in this one place. Yeah.
When it says estimated cost, is that per year? Is that for the whole program?
I believe it's for the whole program. Let's do that. And sometimes I've really been kind of hesitant about trusting everything that this says, because there's a lot of information that they go over, and I know they don't update it all the time. So I've seen some like prices that are wrong so far, but this just gives you an idea, and then you go to the website yourself and like more into it. But so this is listed for 2 years. Sometimes they're really different for non-residents and residents, and it's just always good to go to the actual website to find that out yourself. But the important thing that I want to talk about today was the prerequisites, and this just has it really, really nicely laid out. It breaks down to your A&P, biology, chemistry, behavioral sciences, if they have any, and everything. And so what I did then was I pulled up my spreadsheet, and I copied information that I have like yet to get. So all the I would come to this website. Okay, I've done anatomy and physiology. I don't need to put that on my spreadsheet. I haven't done biochemistry yet, so I'll put that down. Biochem, micro. I've done that. Genetics, no. Immunology, no. Phenochem, got that. And so you just fill out just with what you need to do on your spreadsheet, and then you can only see like, okay, I have these classes left, and after you do all this, you'll see some of them with like 10 prereqs, other ones with like 2, and it's like, okay, those are pretty good right now. So this is just an awesome place to start, because you can go over all different states, you can go over any school you want to, and just get a whole bunch of information. It's up to you, like how much time you want to put into this. I know, if anybody knows Phil, he was the president last semester. I think he went through every single school, and he made 130 something thing with all the prerequisites for the schools. And I was talking to him last semester, and I was like, oh, I'd love that. He emailed it to me, and then somehow during the long process I lost it, but I'm kind of glad I lost it, because it's helped me so much more to go through school by school and find it myself. And that's what I'd really recommend doing. You can find all these like in that thing, but it's better to do it yourself.
What are those numbers after the classes, like anatomy and physiology? Is that the credit hours that are required?
Yeah. And some of them, some schools, I don't know if from different countries they do things differently. They do like half credit hours and stuff, so it might be a little bit confusing. I just refer to their webpage. Does anybody have any questions about this, or kind of thoughts about how to make it better? Yeah.
I know here they have for biochemistry, you can take either biochemistry or there's like biochemistry and molecular or something. There's one's chemistry and one's biology. Does the one for biology count, or no? You know?
I don't know. I would think that I would just go by like what it's labeled as, like it's a chemistry class or a bio class. But a lot of times they just say, like for biology, some of them just say like you need 20 credits of biology courses. And so you might be able to like argue with them or explain your reasoning, but I think it would go just for what it's labeled as.
Yeah, a lot of times they are a little bit more general, like it says biochemistry or cell biology, and so they basically just want something that's going to fit in that general category. But if there's ever a question about whether or not a class would count as a prereq, it's best just to call the school and ask them. Just so that way you know you don't get into it and realize, oh, that class isn't going to work, now I got to take something else. But most of the time, as long as they're fit in that general category, you're usually okay. But if you do have a question, come on.
Good question. I just recently emailed the school, and I haven't got an answer back. I don't know how to do that, but you can just send an email right to them.
So, but this is what we can do without the $400 per month.
Yeah.
Right.
I'll show really fast just like what you can do, what it's not, because I know that we're not gonna use
So let me
it.
make sure though.
What you can do if you pay for it, you can go here and you can do a perfect fit search. This is like what you paid $4 for. And I was hoping that could say, okay, I enter all my prerequisites and stuff, and they give me the schools for it. But no, it's like you choose what state, how much experience, what your GPA is, how much you want it to cost, class size, and all these things. And that's it. So it really has nothing to do with prerequisites. So I wouldn't recommend it. But it's $4 if you want to try it. So I don't really want to go into this too much more, but does anybody have any questions or any thoughts about what has helped you, just simply, to organize your prerequisite search for schools? Or any thoughts about Skydrive or anything like that? How, because that is, I love that because I don't need to worry about where I'm saving things. I always save the Skydrive and it follows me around. So this is what I'm working on now. It's like I said, it's helped me the most to go through it school by school. And so it's like the time required, but that's what's helped me the most because I now know these schools a lot better. So, no other questions? I think that'll be it for this section.
Okay, fine.
Okay. So now that we kind of know how to go through each school website on our own, I'm gonna go on and highlight a couple of schools that I researched. Give me a second to log into my Google. Okay, we decided to highlight 3 schools. I'm going to do 2, and Brandon, you're doing Tyrell. You're doing Touro? Okay. So I'm going to do University of South Carolina, or Southern California, and Salus. Okay. So this is all about USG, University of Southern California. So
Did you turn the projector off or did it just shut itself off?
the system reset.
Awesome.
Yeah. What?
Please enter code. It probably just timed out. Well, while he's doing that, USC is obviously University of Southern California. A lot of schools have like programs, like USC does the Keck School of Medicine. I know University of Washington has one. Can't remember what it's called. MedX, yeah, MedX. And so it can be kind of confusing that way because they go through that program like Keck, but it's through USC. So don't be fooled by if you wrote a Keck, it's like, oh, this is Keck, not USC, but it's really USC.
What part of California is it?
It's in LA. It's downtown LA. I'll show you kind of a map. We decided to highlight these universities because they're a little bit unique. For example, USC is a 3-year program as opposed to a 2-year program, and Salus has a 3-2 program. So I'm going to go through USC real quick, and then I'm going to spend most of my time on Salus. Okay, good. Okay. So, the USC program is a 3-year program. You get, I mean, obviously every school has weekends off, but they really kind of stress weekends off. You get holidays off and your summer off, so that's awesome. It's kind of more of a laid-back program. This is why it's kind of unique. It's a more laid-back program. It takes 3 years, and you pay a little extra, but from what I've heard, people say that the extra money is definitely worth it. You can see right here that USC is right next to downtown. Here's downtown LA, and there's USC. So it's a cool location, right in the heart of the city. And USC has this awesome link for all the BYU, or all the, I don't know how many colleges they have on this, but it's like this huge long list of all the colleges and their specific classes that they require. So these are all the classes that USC requires from BYU Idaho specifically. So it's pretty cool. They have BYU Provo, BYU Hawaii, and I was surprised they had BYU Idaho, but they do. Do you want me to keep this slide up, or, I mean...
Why do they require Spanish if we have so many Spanish-speaking people already?
They require Spanish for everyone.
Oh, really?
Spanish is, unless you're a native
Because
speaker.
they want you to work down there, and there's so...
Yeah.
This is California.
Yeah.
But they on their website they stress Spanish a lot. So they require Spanish, which also makes it unique. Yeah.
Is that linked to this list on their website?
It's on their website. Yeah. When you just go to like prospective students and then prerequisites, the link is right there. It's really easy to find. I just found it in like 5 minutes after researching it. I was like, wow. So, pretty sweet. So they do require the GRE. The minimum score is 295. And if you took the whole exam, it's 1,000. I think they require that you take the GRE within 5 years of matriculation at the school. So their minimum GPA is 3.0. But let's be honest, it's going to be more like 3.5, 3.6 if you want to get in. And so they do require the CASPA application and a supplemental application. So you got to go into their actual website and apply separately. So there's 2 applications to this program. It's probably like you apply to USC in general, and if you're accepted to USC, then we'll get your CASPA. So I don't really know exactly how that works, but okay. So this is kind of their little blurb about clinical experience, and I thought it was awesome because they gave specific examples of what they would like to see. So they said they like EMT, licensed vocational nurse, medical assistant, even the back office would work, a medical scribe, medical technologist, military medical corpsman, nursing assistant, paramedic, psychiatric technician, radiologic technician, respiratory therapist, chiropractor, registered nurse, etc. So that's a really good list of, if you're wondering what do I do for clinical experience, that's a pretty good list right there. Couldn't have said it better myself. Questions on that? So their cost is average per semester, but because it's 3 semesters, it's a lot more expensive. The normal PA school costs between $60,000 and $70,000. This is $137,000 because it's an extra semester added on. So, and along with the tuition, you're also paying for lab fees, and you're paying for, you know, housing and everything. So it's going to be pretty expensive. So beware of that. But they do have financial aid options, which is I think, if I'm not mistaken, the USC program usually a two-year PA program is the first year is didactic study, which is the book work, and then the second year is clinical rotations, and you go out to the field and do something USC does didactic, clinical, and then another year of didactic. That's all. These are the first-time scores for the PANCE test. PANCE is, of course, the Physician Assistant National Certifying Exam. So this is USC. They have pretty good scores. Average is 96% passed the first time they took it. It's pretty good. Salus is actually even better, but we'll get to that. One of the students, John Waite, he's graduating next year. He said this about the school. So it gives you kind of an idea of what the culture of USC is like, which is awesome. They, celebrate birthdays and all the fun, like Halloween. I'm sure like this is similar. So they go to football games together. You can just tell that the USC PA Society at USC is like close knit and not competitive at all. You're just working together as friends and as a team. Now let's talk about Salus University. But first, does anybody have any questions about USC? Yeah.
The biology class, I just had a question. The bio 200, the class doesn't exist.
They changed its name.
They changed its name, yeah. It's the same thing though, pretty much.
Okay. I just like that.
Yeah, it's by 180 by 181 if I remember right.
Yeah.
They changed tracking.
So yeah, they probably don't update that too often. But I mean, I'm sure you can figure out what the old system, what the bio 200 is. Any other questions? Okay. So we have this wonderful opportunity with Salus University in Philadelphia. Where to start? Okay, so the agreement is you go to 3 years at your undergrad as opposed to 4 years, and then you're directly admitted to Salus University. And your first year at Salus will complete your bachelor's here at BYU, Idaho. So you get dual credit. So you're technically not a graduate once you leave BYU, Idaho. You go to Salus and then you graduate after a year there, and you only have 1 more year of clinical, then you come back to southeastern Idaho. So let's just go through it. So if you're interested in or in the Salus 3-2 program, you'll come here for 3 years, like it says up here. They want you to have 90 credits minimum by the time you get to Salus. So that means if you want to apply to Salus, you should apply when you have between 40 and 80 credits. They only require 100 hours of direct patient contact before you matriculate, which is awesome because normal school it would be like 2,000 or 5,000. So 100 hours is awesome, and only 10 PA shadowing hours. So a lot of us have close to that already. So yeah, that's one shift. I did an 8-hour shift once, and it was one day, and I felt like I could be there for another 8 hours. So they're awesome. The coursework, you have to finish all your foundations classes here at BYU, Idaho before you go to Salus. Salus requires you to take some classes that might not be in your major. This is for health science majors, by the way. So if you're interested, talk to Brother Klingler. He's kind of the head of the program. He's like the liaison between us and Salus. But you might have to change your major to health science. Salus University requires a couple of things. Of course, Anat and Phys, Chem 105 and 106, or OChem. Bio 180, psychology, and biostats. Some, just the normal, what you're going to have to do anyway for PA schools. And then your health science core, which is just some classes that don't transfer from Salus back to BYU, Idaho. So those are classes like personal health and wellness, communicable and non-communicable diseases, epidemiology, your internship, etc. So You do that, and then you go to Salus University in Philadelphia. And I actually went last October. I interviewed at Salus, and it's an awesome area. It's like it's like an hour and a half away from New York City, like a couple hours from DC. Like the Temple District is Manhattan, so it's awesome. So your first year at Salus University, 30 of your credits will transfer back to BYU Idaho. And then you graduate BYU Idaho, and then your second year, you come back here, and what usually people do is they'll live in Idaho Falls, and then they'll rotate between Pocatello, Idaho Falls, and Rexburg. You do your rotations here. So every 6 weeks, I think, you transfer to a different rotation. So you'll be doing ER at one time, and pediatrics a different time, and orthopedics a different time. You know. So there's that. Does anyone have any questions about that? It's kind of confusing. Yeah.
Well, I just you know, just so people know, like, who aren't able to do this, like, they do accept people.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
From our school still, even in the.
Yeah, if you're not eligible to do the
Yeah.
3-2 program, you can still apply after graduation. This kind of shows that Salus kind of has
Likes
a soft
us.
spot for BYU. So I'm sure we have kind of the heads up applying after graduation anyway. Let's go through here.
Is there any disadvantages to the 3-2 program?
It's kind of a personal thing. For me, I felt like maybe a disadvantage was you're not getting as many hours, so you don't know as much. You'll be young. Flo's not here, but Flo is accepted to matriculate next year. So, and she's 19. So she's going to PA school at 19. She'll be practicing at 21. So, I mean, you have a lot less experience, but other than that, it's a pretty good program. Did you have a question?
I was wondering how much it costs.
I'll get to that.
So having that less experience, does that change your job outlook for getting a job as a PA?
From what I've experienced, employers don't really care about how much experience you have, or even your grades in grad school. They care about your PAT score. So that's kind of the thing to look at.
And would that affect your PAT score, having less experience, or is it just book knowledge?
Well, it could. If you do really well in the didactic and the clinicals, then it's probably not a big deal. But you know, there's always a good heads up if you have 2,000, 5,000 hours. Karen?
Like, I mean, I personally, I'm a kinesthetic learner, so I'm hands-on, like, I absorb the most, I retain the most just from experience of shadowing. Clinical hours have been huge for me, compared to just reading right out of the book and going, oh, got it. But also with Salus program, they reserve, what, 6 spots, I think, for BYU Idaho students out of the 32 or so that they accept.
Yeah, they accept around 30 to 40 people. I think last semester, or last year, 11 people total applied for it. Only 11 people, and they said they were going to accept 8. I think they only ended up accepting 6. But still, like, if 11 people applied to a school and they accepted 6, that's really good odds. So,
You're saying from here?
yeah,
Yeah.
they reserved 6 people from BYU Idaho, and basically a promise that they'll accept 6 people.
Just to comment on the question earlier, it was a couple of semesters ago, somebody asked Lewis about, does it matter where you go to school, does it matter, you know, because Salus is a fairly young program still, what's different between going to them as somewhere like U of U or whatever, and his comment was, when was the last time you asked your doctor where you went to school? And so most employers, if you have your certificate, you know, you are a certified PA, that's the biggest thing most people look at. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. If you're going to go to like Mayo Clinic or something, then they might start looking deeper at you know, your test scores, your grades, where did you go to school, that kind of thing. But
Yeah.
For most people, you got the certificate, you are a PA, and that's what they care about.
Yeah, I'm going to be straight up with you guys. Salus is not competing with Duke. It's no University of Utah, but it's a PA school, and you can take the pants after you go there. So, and if you graduate from Salus, you're a PA. If you graduate from University of Washington, you're a PA. So, same difference. Do you have questions?
No.
Okay. Any other questions? I'm going to continue talking about the program. So, let's just do that. So when I was there on the campus, I noticed that it was extremely team-oriented. Most of the questions they asked me in the interview were about teamwork. The class sizes are about 40, maybe less, maybe more. I don't know. That's why I said about 40. Everybody is about our same age. The pictures kind of say it all. A good mix with married students and single students. So, yeah. And you get an iPad.
$200 out of that $80,000.
So these are the pants scores for Salus. Not a whole lot better than USC, but still pretty good. They're really proud of their 2009 and 2012 classes for getting 100%. They mentioned that a couple times while I was there. The average is 97%. Yeah?
Why did the students go down in 2012?
The students? Oh, I don't know. I really don't know.
You did something.
Yeah, that's a great question. I have no idea. But it seems like they were going up 20, 30, 37, 50. Yeah, I don't know. It's a good question. It's a question for the Quinlan maybe. So the cost is $33,000 per semester, 2 semesters. Well, that should be years. Sorry, per year. 2 years. So it's $67,300 for the entire program, and that does include the fees and you know, like you need to buy a lab coat, you need to buy all the books, a stethoscope, whatever. That includes it all. When I went there, they gave me like literally a giant packet of financial aid options. So there's tons of financial aid. I think no, one of them has financial aid options in here. So if you guys want to come up and take a look at those, you're welcome to do that afterward. Questions about the cost? Here's just some pictures of the campus. There's 2 buildings. It's not the biggest campus, but the Salus University is mainly like, I think it's ophthalmology. They mainly do like optometry, but PA is relatively new. So here's the main building on campus. That's where you do all of your classes and everything, the library, etc. The Hafner Community Center, that's what this is right here. And it's basically just a lounge for the students. There's a gym, there's some fun lounge areas to do homework and study with other people. So that is the PA program at Salus. So does anybody have any questions about Salus program, the application process, the prereqs, anything about Salus? Yeah.
The application process, I was looking online. Is it just the packet that's online, or is it?
Yeah.
Because it doesn't look like it's a CASPA application, right?
You do have to apply through CASPA as well.
Okay.
They require a FAFSA application. Let me get to the website on our system here. So there's a suggested coursework link that pulls this up. All the classes you need to take. I'll just pull it up real quick.
Just for those that are interested, Brother Cleveland likes to do a presentation on this, especially, I don't know exactly, applications are due sometime next semester for the Q2
In
program.
July.
Yeah.
I
In
Okay.
July. So the beginning of next semester, most likely we'll have Brother Klingler come in and do a real detailed presentation on this program exactly, how do you apply for this 3-2 program, and really get into a lot of that stuff too. So for anyone that's interested, it'll be next semester. And just for throwing it out there, Tyson's actually doing it right now.
Oh, yeah.
We're recording these meetings now, and Daniel over here is going to help us get those posted to the Facebook page. And so even if you're not here, you're going to be gone, whatever, if you're off track, follow up on the Facebook page. We'll have these videos of our meetings linked on, so you can see what went on, information, just like if you were here.
Yeah, the Salus application opens at the end of this month for next year. So if you're graduating in the next year, you have between 40 and 80 credits. This is a good time for you guys to talk to Brother Klingler about it, get an application from him. Yeah.
The other thing I'd recommend is start filling out your FAFSA now. Like, it doesn't cost anything until you submit it to a school. And so you just put as much data on there as you can, now. Get it out of the way.
Okay, this is the application that BYU Idaho requires to be considered for the Salus program. It's like 8 pages long, and most of it's like instructions. It's like your address and stuff like that.
This is just for the 3-2 thing?
This is just for the 3-2 program, yeah.
All this is right here, it's like a letter of recommendation, except for doing a letter. Whoever you have writing the letter, they're just going to basically rank you on a scale of 1 to 10 on how good you are at different things. A couple comments about your strengths and weaknesses, and that's about it. So it makes letters of recommendation pretty easy too.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say the actual application is just this page. The only thing that you have to do is write down this stuff. And then you give this page to a reference, preferably a PA. And they fill out those 3 pages. And that's it. And then you just give that to Brother Klingler, and so you're good to go. So, I want to stress how easy and how great this program is, because it can shave years off of your study. Not just that 1 year that you're studying, but like for me, I'm gonna have to graduate and then get the hours that I need to apply to PA school. I wasn't accepted to Salus, but if I were, then I could graduate by 2015, start practicing then. And it looks like now, after I graduate in 2014, and after I get the hours, I probably won't even apply to PA school until 2015. So this can shave off years. So, yeah.
Did you just fly down there, or did you call them up?
I flew down. So how that worked was, how did that work? They sent me an email. Yeah, they sent me an email after I had applied and passed those in. They sent me an email a couple weeks later, and they said, we'd like to invite you to an interview at Salus University. So they gave me all the details. They said call this number to set up time and date for the interview. So I set it up for, I think, October 9th. I went down. I just flew. You pay for your own ticket. I flew down to. I actually flew into New York City, and then took a train to Philadelphia. And it's pretty simple. I went there the day before, and I walked around campus, and I asked the admissions office. I was like, where do I go? And I interview, and they just said, oh, you're right here. So they were really nice, and then I just showed up, and it was about a 4-hour process. It wasn't a 4-hour interview.
Yeah.
It was like a 15-minute interview. But I was there on campus for about 4 hours, because they give you the tour, they tell you all the history about their program. They basically sell the program to you, and then they interview you. The interview wasn't that bad. They asked a lot of questions about why I want to be a PA, and how I demonstrate teamwork and stuff like that. So it wasn't intimidating. They were really nice. And yeah, after the interview, we just went home. So it was a great experience. And even though I didn't get into the program, it's invaluable. What I learned from going to Salus and learning from interview and actually completing CASPA and everything like that, it was huge. And so now I feel completely confident to do it for sure. So, I mean, even if you know that you won't be able to get into Salus, you know that you have over 90 credits, or you're graduating this year and you won't be able to do a 3-2 program, still apply to Salus. Still, like, check out the CASPA website, and that will help a lot.
Sorry. So any more questions for Kevin? We've got one more school to go over.
Yeah. Good?
All right.
Okay. Come and get come and get some of these flyers if you want, if you're interested.
Maybe when he's getting that ready, we can put our emails if anybody has any questions about what we talked about.
Oh, yeah.
Like if they, you want to put yours up there too, like if they want to.
Yeah.
Those pamphlets are just for the 2-3 program, right?
They're just for the 3-2 program.
For the 3-2 program, whatever.
This is about the Salus program in general. It's not specific for the 3-2 program. So you can look through that. This is what they gave me when I interviewed. These are specific to the 3-2 program. And this is basically just talks about the entering class of 2012. It gives you some stats, like number of applicants. There's 2,000 applicants, not for the 3-2 program.
Of course.
And 56 entering students. So they give you where they're from by state, their age, sex, minority, marital status, majors. So that's a pretty good thing to just check out.
Okay, this is Touro University, and they are in Nevada. They're located in Henderson, which is 30 minutes from Vegas. They're the only PA school in Nevada. They opened in 2004, so it's a relatively new school. Why this school is unique is that it's a Jewish-run school, and it's also 28 months rather than what's the standard 26, usually 27. And there's some benefits to that. So your benefit is you're going to get out of class every day at 3 o'clock. So you've got that extra time to get your studying done, and then if you're married like me, have kids, I can have a couple more hours to spend with my family. Fridays you get off around noon, and where it's the only PA school in Nevada, there's tons of opportunities for underserved programs all over Nevada, also reservations and that kind of stuff. So osteopathic outlook on medicine. Does anybody know what osteopathic medicine is?
Yes. More structural.
The body, it's self-healing type thing. So
Structural.
exercise, diet, that kind of stuff, rather than medications and stuff. So they're huge on interdisciplinary relations between other doctors and other fields and stuff. A good way to find if you're fit for a school or what the school has to offer is to look at their mission statement. It's going to tell you what you want, what is required, pretty much, what they want to do, what they want to teach you. And then Touro has their goals. This isn't all of them, but you can look at those real quick. They're all about professionalism. They like community service, community needs, giving back, that kind of stuff. So some more goals. And then just based on these goals, they're telling you exactly what they want you to be before you come to their school. And that is someone that believes in community service, volunteering, and giving back to the community, and someone that practices what they preach. So they're going to want to see regular community service / volunteer hours. This is their prerequisites, where they don't have any set hours that they require. So they require a little bit more prereqs. So that's why you have biochem and organic chem. Inorganic chem is just going to be a chem 105 to 106. Yes, I've got that in just a second. So they don't require GRE. There's no minimum hours for hands-on experience. So this is the kicker. 3.4 GPA, which isn't bad for your sciences, but the average student has about 70 science credit hours, which is a lot. So, and there's a way that you can get those hours. It would take you an extra year, and they've got a program, and I'll go over that in just a second. Yeah, go ahead.
What is the GRE?
The GRE, so that's the school, that's the test you take once you graduate.
General.
Yeah. So a lot of schools require it, a small portion don't. Rolling admissions, which is good if you're all done, say fall semester or winter semester, rolling admissions is great because you get your application in, you've got a higher chance of getting accepted, usually. Because a bunch of people, they get a lot less applications in the spring than they do in the fall. So if you get yours in early, you've got a higher chance of getting accepted. So they're huge on compassion as well, and volunteering. And they look for diversity. They like to see in your personal statement, they like to see hardships. They like to see what the hardship was and how you overcame it, and what you learned from it. Their program, like I said, is 28 months, so you've got 16 months of didactic and then 12 months of rotations. And the rotations they can do pretty much anywhere nationwide, just as long as they can set you up with practices in your area that you want to go to. And like this says, you're going to have to come back every 4 months to take tests. So you've got rotations, you've got a different rotation every month. You have a test to take every 4 months when you come back. They don't require a master's project, a little bit of community service, an essay, and a service learning course. And they took us into their cadaver lab when we were there, and it was kind of unique. It was a little bit smaller than everybody else's, but it was, for some reason, it just felt different. It felt like, rather than a learning tool, it kind of felt almost like a spiritual experience. It was kind of intense. It was interesting.
Yeah, their school was very, because it's a Jewish-run school, it has a lot of, like, religion more in it, I guess, but when you walk into that room, they were very, like, protective of the bodies and made sure that everyone was very respectful when they were in the room. You didn't drink and eat and do any, there was no, like, messing around in the room. It was very, like, you were there to learn from these bodies and you respected them, and it was really cool, actually.
So, yeah, they do the donor I don't know. Cool. So, yeah, I lost my train. Donor appreciation ceremony. I don't know exactly what it entails, but they made it sound like it was pretty awesome, and that was part of what they were explaining to us. So this is kind of a good thing and a bad thing. They do invite theater students to come practice on when you're in the practice exam rooms. This next part is they hire men and women to do your rectal and pelvic exams. So, bad thing is you got to do a little bit earlier. Good thing is that you've got experience before you go and do your rotations. So that's going to look better when you go, and it's going to be a little bit less awkward, I guess you could say. So as part of your tuition, you're going to get a laptop that has all of the whole 16-month didactic period. It's going to have all those lectures already loaded on it. And in most PA schools are this way, but inside their classrooms they've got cameras, so you can go back and watch the lectures after the fact if you miss something. So, two-part interview. The first part is 12 to 15 students to one faculty questions. There's about 55 students per class, and then your second part of your interview is going to be 2 faculty to 1 student. It's about 15 minutes is all. The cost is a little bit higher than Salus, it's $79,000. And then this is all your required rotations. So there's 9 rotations there, and then 2 months of your choice, pretty much. So you can do whatever you want. If you want to do surgery for another month, you can do surgery for 2 months. So it all depends on you. We have 2 on-site clinics. One of them is for developmental disabilities, and their main focus with that is autism, which is kind of cool. The second clinic is just general autism. This is the Masters of Science program that I was telling you about. The good thing about this is that if you don't get into their program, or you don't get into any other program, you can apply to their Master's of Science program, and they're just going to go into depth with biochemistry, microbiology, and anatomy and physiology. And that's how a lot of their students get that 70 hours, 70 credit hours of sciences. The cool part is if you get accepted to this, you're guaranteed an interview the next year. So, which is pretty awesome. And as long as you complete this program and pass it, you're guaranteed it. So it's pretty awesome. So that's it. Does anybody have any questions? Real quick, I can show you their scores. Their scores are quite a bit lower than anybody else's, than the other two that we saw that Kevin presented. But I mean, like you said, PA school is PA school. As long as you pass, it doesn't matter where you go. So, any questions?
How do you find these?
The scores?
Yeah.
So, we'll go real quick to their website. Okay, so if you just go to their website, you know, every website's going to be a little bit different. But you go to their program, and then you go down to accreditation, and then that's going to give you the score right there. So everything that you need to know about their school usually is on their website. About the community, about Henderson, and that kind of stuff. Each school should be on every single website. So, any questions?